Hello student, welcome to EPG Pathshala on quantitative methods in geographical studies. I am Professor Aslam Mahmood, formerly of Jawaharlal Nehru University. Today's topic of discussion would be normal distribution, characteristics and its uses in geographical studies. Frequency distribution curves. One of the very first steps after collecting the data from field is to tabulate it through a frequency distribution table. A frequency distribution table converts the data into a systematic and manageable form by arranging it in an order and removing the minor differences while retaining the major differences. Patterns. Every frequency distribution table show an underlying features of the distribution of these values. These features otherwise are not so clearly visible. The pattern of the frequency distribution table can be further highlighted by depicting these tables through a histogram. When the middle points of upper sides of these histograms are joined, we get a frequency polygon, and a smooth form of the frequency polygon will give us a curve known as frequency distribution curve, as shown in the figure given below. Thus, a large body of data can be represented by a compact frequency curve. The shape of the frequency curve explains the process which has given rise to a particular type of curve. There are a few common types of curves such as symmetrical curve, asymmetrical curve, positively skewed curve, elongated tail on the right, and negatively skewed curve, elongated on the left, J-shaped and U-shaped curve, etc. There are different processes which will be attributed behind each one of these shapes. For example, due to inequality in the distribution of income and size of the land holdings, etc., we generate a positively skewed curve having very small frequencies of higher values of income or land, etc. Similarly, a reverse J-shaped curve will be showing extreme inequality in the distribution. It will be asymptotic to both x and y axis, showing extreme poverty by showing income around 0, that is y axis, to a very large population, and infinitely higher income along x axis to very small population. Sometime we may have U-shaped curve also, showing the effect of a force which operates in the beginning but weakens gradually up to certain points, after which it starts operating again and increase with time. The effect of age on mortality and average cost of production of a unit in a factory, etc., are the examples of such processes. Now we discuss the normal distribution curve. Of all types of such curves, we have in social sciences and in natural sciences a particular bell-shaped symmetrical curve known as normal curve. It has very important role to play in statistical analysis. In geography also, normal distribution has been used in a number of ways. A normal distribution curve is similar to the binomial distribution with some modifications. If our assumption related to binomial distribution are modified as below, that variable x is a continuous variable. Number 2, neither p nor q is very small and n is sufficiently large, the binomial distribution converges to normal distribution function given by, as on the screen, where mu and sigma are the mean and standard deviations respectively of the variable x, and pi and e are two constants. Normal distribution, as name also suggests, is normal in the sense that it consists of values which are neither very large nor very small. There is a balanced combination of the two. The shape of a normal curve is given below in figure 2, in a normal distribution, large number of values are found to be closer around a central value. This is the property of almost all the variables generated by a normal process which revolves around middle values and neither gives preference to any value nor discriminates against any other value. Rainfall, agricultural productivity, family size, size of rural settlements, consumption of food per head, age of individuals, height of students in a class, marks obtained by a student and average life of an electric bulb, etc. are the examples where a frequency distribution curve will be either normal or near normal. Area under normal curve. Probability calculations for a normal distribution with different means and standard deviations are possible for different values of variable x. For any set of values of a variable x following normal distribution, we find the values of its mean and standard deviation. Substitute these values in the equation given above. After substituting these values, the values of the probability of any value of x can be found by evaluating the value of the equation given above for different values of x. The process is further simplified by converting the variable into a standard form as given here. After transforming the values of x into z, the equation of probability distribution will become as shown on the screen. Note, half of the values of z will be negative, that means less than mean, and half will be positive, that means above the mean. Z is a continuous variable. Z ranges from minus infinity to plus infinity. The probability curve of the normal distribution will be symmetrical at z is equal to 0. The sum of the probabilities of z values from minus infinity to plus infinity will be given by the area of the normal probability curve, which is equal to 1. Probability of z value between a to b will be the difference of the area under the normal curve up to the value of z is equal to b and the area up to z is equal to a. Sum of the probabilities from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to infinity will be half, that is 0.5. Half of the image of the curve will be the mirror image of the other half. If we know the probability of the value of variable z between two class limits of a class by multiplying the total number of observations, we can find the number of observations falling within that class. Probabilities of the standard normal variate z of all possible values up to 2 decimal places have been worked out and are tabulated as given in table below. In view of the above properties of a normal curve, half of the values are sufficient to be tabulated instead of full. By taking the modulus value of z, we can find the area under normal curve belonging to either side of the curve. Example, annual rainfall of an area is found to be normally distributed with mean is equal to 40 centimeter and standard deviation equal to 35 centimeter. Find out the probability of annual rainfall between 20 to 30 centimeter. Here, for rainfall is equal to 20 centimeter, we give the value of z equal to, we convert it into a standard z form as shown, which is given, which is found to be 0.5714, and for rainfall equal to 30 centimeter, the z value will be found out to be 0.2857. We can find out the area under normal curve from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to 0.5714 as shown below. The first column in the table of the area under normal curve will give the first decimal place. For second decimal place, we will have to look the head of the table. The intersection of 0.5 and 0.07 at the column will give the value of the area under z is equal to 0 to z is equal to 0.57, which is found to be 0.2167. But we want the value of the area for the value of z is equal to 0.5714. That is, in addition to z is equal to 0.57, we want some more area equal to z is equal to 0.0014. The additional value can be obtained through interpolation. In the following manner, value of the area at z is equal to 0.57 is 0.2167. The value of the area of z at z is equal to 0.58 is equal to 0.2190. For a difference of 0.01, the difference in the area is 0.0023. So, for the difference in z is equal to 0.0014, the difference in the area will be 0.0023 divided by 0.01 multiplied by 0.0014, which is equal to 0.000322. Thus, the value of the area under the normal curve for rainfall from z 0.5714 is equal to 0.2167 plus the area due to the additional value of 0.0014, which is equal to 0.000322, and the total area of z equal to 0.5714 is equal to 0.2170. Similarly, we can find out the area under the normal curve for the value of rainfall from 0 to 30. For rainfall 30 centimeter, the z value is 0.2857. Area under normal curve from z is equal to 0 to 0.2857 is equal to 0.1125. Thus, the probability of the rainfall between 20 centimeter to 30 centimeter will be the difference between the area of the normal curve for the two limits, which is the difference of the area 0.2170 and 0.1125, which is equal to 0.1054. Now, that is how you can always find out the probability between any two values of the standard normal variate. Now, let us come to properties of a normal distribution. As shown above, the normal distribution curve is symmetric with the following important properties. Normal distribution function give a bell-shaped symmetrical curve around mean, and its mean, median and mode coincide. It is a unimodal distribution, that means there is only one mode. For lowest value of a value of mean minus standard deviation, the curvature of the normal curve is concave, that is, it has increasing rate of change of frequencies. At this point it changes its curvature and becomes convex, that is, it starts having decreasing rate of change of frequencies. Such a point is known as point of inflection. Another point of inflection will be at mean itself, where instead of having increase, it shows a decrease in the frequencies. Next point of inflection will occur at a value of mean plus standard deviation. Here again the curvature of the curve will change from concave to convex and will show an increasing decline in the frequencies. In the range of mean minus standard deviation to mean plus standard deviation, 68.23% of the observations will fall. And next, in the range of mean minus 2 standard deviation to mean plus 2 standard deviation, 95.46 percent observations will fall, and finally in the range of mean minus 3 standard deviation to mean plus 3 standard deviation, 99.73% observations will fall. Theoretically, the range of the values of a normal distribution is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Note here that every symmetric curve is not necessarily a normal curve. Only those symmetric curves which follow the above properties will be normal. A normal curve, however, is necessarily symmetric as shown below. Example, using the properties of point of inflection, often data is classified into 4 categories for making a choropleth map. To explain it further, let us take a hypothetical example of 104 agricultural plots of equal size, of which production of crop in 1000 kg per hectare was found as given below. If we convert the data into histogram, we get the following shape of histogram as given in figure 3. Figure 3 gives the frequency distribution of agriculture productivity in 1000 kilograms per hectare. The curve, though is not exactly normal, can be approximately taken as normal. The mean value of the standard deviation and the standard deviation of the agriculture productivity was found to be 52.47 thousand kilogram and 14.8800 kilogram per hectare respectively. Using the above mentioned criterion given in point 1 of the dividing the data into a few categories, we can divide the data into 4 meaningful categories for making a choropleth map. These 4 categories are shown on the screen. These can be qualified as below first point of inflection, B from first point of inflection to below mean, that is second point of inflection, C from mean to below next point of inflection, and D above the last point of inflection. We also note that percentage distribution of frequencies of farms in different categories is found to be very close to normal distribution, although not exactly normal. We can see the percentage in each category. We find that the percentage values between mean minus standard deviation to mean plus standard deviation is found to be 66.0% as against 68.23 in the case of normal distribution. The difference is not found to be very significant. Test of normalcy of a distribution. Many of the techniques of analysis are based on the assumption that the data to be analyzed is normally distributed. Researchers hardly take any pain to verify this assumption before applying these techniques and assume it to be normally distributed. However, a careful researcher should verify it before making use of any technique for which normality is an essential assumption. Normalcy of any data can be tested with the help of 2 main techniques. Graphically, there are normal probability papers on which x-axis is arithmetic and y-axis gives the cumulative probabilities of a normal distribution. If a given distribution is converted into its cumulative frequency distribution, either more than type or less than type, and plotted on the normal probability paper, the cumulative frequency curve of the data following the normal distribution will give a straight line and will follow the pattern of a straight line. Statistically also, normality can be tested by through the test of goodness of fit. The goodness of fit is not specific to normal distribution only, it can be applied to any distribution. Basic approach to the test of the goodness of fit is to generate frequencies for any distribution according to its theory and compare these estimated values with the actual frequencies to verify the theory. The given frequencies of a distribution are compared with the frequencies generated under the assumption of normalcy. For making the comparison, we use chi-square test, and we can find out whether the goodness of fit approves the distribution to be normal or not. Now, another important thing related to normal distribution we should know is the standardized normal variable. One of the serious problems in geographical research arises when we deal with multivariate data consisting several variables. While carrying out a multivariate analysis, we have to combine several variables in different ways. Such an exercise poses two serious problems which cannot be neglected. The first and foremost problem is of dimension of each variable. In a set of several variables, if one of them is in kilograms, one is in kilometers, third is in rupees, etc., they cannot be added, are subtracted, are subjected to many other mathematical operations. Another problem in this regard is the scale of their operation. Some variables vary in a narrow range and some other may not show very high variation. For example, if one variable is in income in rupees varying in thousand and the another variable is longevity of life which will vary only in few years, and many other cases the variables cannot be treated at par. Such variables cannot be treated at par. Uses of normal distribution in geography. Now, the theory of statistics heavily depend on normal distribution. Most of the tests of significance like t-test, f-test and z-test etc. are based on the assumption that the variable is normally distributed. Apart from the general importance of normal distribution in the theory of statistics, there are some particular uses in geography also. For example, normal distribution is found to be very helpful in cartography. While preparing choropleth maps for a normally distributed variable, geographers often classify the data with the help of above mentioned three categories and map it. Another place where normal distribution has contributed to geographical research is the use in preparing a composite index of development with the help of few indicators of development. In such cases, the original values of different variables are first converted into z-scores, which are in proportion and have no units of measurement, and then the scores can be added with appropriate weights to give a composite index. Another important thing in this direction is standardized normal distribution. Another a normal variable with a given standard deviation and mean can be converted into a standardized variable z with mean as 0 and standard deviation of unity. In this transformation, from each value of a given variable, its mean is subtracted and difference is divided by its standard deviation. We can convert any number of variables into standardized variables. The values of z are known as a standardized score. Whatever may be the value of the original variable, their standardized scores will all have 0 mean and unit standard deviation. Three variables x1, x2 and x3 for which the values are given below can be converted into standard scores as shown below. After computing mean and standard deviation of each variable, we have to subtract the mean value from individual values of each variable. Some of these differences will be negative and other will be positive. We have to divide each of these differences with the respective standard deviations to get the standard score as shown below. Denote these standardized variables as z1, z2 and z3 we note that Z1, Z2 and Z3 have 0 mean and standard deviation very close to 1. That is, we are not getting standard deviation equal to exactly 1 due to rounding error. We could have got standard deviation equal to 1 have we rounded after 4 or 5 decimal places. We also note that spread of the Z score is not very different from each other, unlike the original values x. Now, you would see that how the normal distribution plays an important role at many places in geographical research. I hope the presentation would have made the concept of normal distribution and its associated characteristics and transformations would have given you some enlightenment, and you will be able to make better use of normal distribution in geographical research in future. Thank you very much.